And welcome to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, Rob Troutman. We have Sean Duffy and Josh Jeffy here tonight as we're going to go through the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League 2021. It's the White Division preview show here on YouTube Live. I want to thank you all for joining us. And guys, we went through the Red Division last week. We had some great coaches come on and really break it down for us. Tonight at 8:05, we have the Westlake Demons head coach, Brennan Teets, coming on to talk about his Demons hockey program. At 8:25, we have the Strongsville Mustangs hockey program, Troy Grahl, who will join us. And then coming on at 8:45 for the Aurora Greenmen hockey program, it's Joe Lawrie is going to join us at 8:45. So we have a pretty jam-packed show for you to go over. And, you know, we do have some changes, some teams that moved up into the White Division from the Blue Division. So we will go to that, and want to thank Sean for sharing the screen there with the White West Division. You have the Avon Lake Shoremen, the Lakewood Rangers, the North Olmsted Eagles, the Strongsville Mustangs, and the Westlake Demons. And Westlake's a program that was in the Blue South Division last year. They were 11-6, 7-0, and they only had one senior on their team last year. A lot of juniors returning. So guys, you know, this White West Division, there's some really good teams that I think are going to be fun to watch in this division. So let's break it down and talk to head coach Brennan Teets when he joins us here at 8:05. But what do you think about some of the changes in the White West Division?
Yeah, Strongsville, you know, they were in the Red Division last year. And when we talked to, Olmsted Falls coach about, he kind of mentioned Strongsville and their kind of the weak at goalie last year. And that kind of led them to having not so much success last year in league play. In fact, I don't think they won any games in league play. But so this year they're looking to moving down relatively into the White Division, the lower division, which is still very competitive. You're going to have the White West. Those are some good teams that have played some competitive hockey in the past. So that's going to be interesting. And like you said, Rob. In terms of, the White East, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Some good names on there, Orange and Aurora. We'll talk to Aurora's coach a little bit later on in the show as well to get his take on the season. And last year it was tough to get a read on all these teams because some teams played, some teams didn't. Some teams didn't know when they were playing. So it was quite a year. So in terms of really getting a true feeling of your team and how they were going to be, it was really hard. So I'm anxious to hear how these coaches, how they feel about their teams coming into the 2021-22 season.
Yeah, we talked.
Yeah, I think
go ahead, Sean.
I was just going to say, I think if you look at where this White West Division is, it's very similar to how we look, kind of piggybacking onto our football coverage. This is the Southwestern Conference with the exception of Strongsville. These teams are going to be very familiar with each other. What does that mean for somebody who's following this league? Is that you're going to see a lot of good hockey. These are great teams. I mean, Avon and
Avon Lake.
Avon Lake, but I'm saying Avon moved out of this division to go up to the Red Division.
So did Olmsted Falls.
So did Olmsted Falls. So now you're seeing, okay, Strongsville drops down, plays, but they're not. It's not taking, like you said, Josh, very eloquently. They're not taking an easier route. They're basically just playing about the same competition. It's still great competition. It's still an opportunity for these teams to go to the Barron Cup. Top four in each division, East and West, make Barron Cup. And right now, you've got 5 teams. So really, it's all about jockeying for position. And any one of these teams could probably be a team that could win the Barron Cup. Same thing with the East Division. It's a very competitive division. The White Division is East and West. I look for this to be a real competitive, hard-hitting, a lot of tough hockey being played between these teams.
Yeah, and one thing, for Lakewood is Coach Ferfolia. He's not there as head coach anymore. It's Andrew Sankovic, the head coach of Lakewood now. And, Coach Ferfolia has always done a great job at Lakewood, getting that team ready and always competing. And he's had some really skilled players there, and some good goalies at Lakewood. So I'm interested to see how that change is going to go for Coach Senkovic, who I'm sure has great experience, and I'm sure Coach Ferfolia really helped him along the way. And also Avon Lake, Coach Nilsson there for Avon Lake. Each year, the Shoremen, they have good speed. They have really athletic. Really athletic athletes. When you look at their wings, and they're really fast and get out in the open ice and really know how to distribute the puck well. Crisp passes, but they get the job done, and I think they're going to be a team that could be dangerous here in the White West Division. North Olmsted, each year they keep getting better and better, and I think when you look at Coach Palaco there for the Eagles, these, like you said, these teams, most of them are kind of that. They were former SWC with Lakewood, North Olmsted, and Westlake, but I think it's a competitive division. We're going to see it. A lot of these teams were young. They're starting to get a little bit more depth now because some of those freshmen and sophomores are coming up to juniors and seniors now. And I'm interested to hear, what Strongsville has to say, and even Westlake, because Westlake last year had one senior on their team, but they're returning a ton of juniors, and they had a really good year in the Blue South Division last year. So it's going to be fun to see making that step up to the White Division if Westlake and Strongsville are going to be able to compete like they did in the Blue Division.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and I'll switch here and show you guys, give you a rundown of what the White East looks like. We can kind of just do a quick rundown there. In the White East Division, we have Aurora, the Greenmen. We will be speaking to their coach later on tonight, as mentioned by Josh and Rob. The Kenston, the Bombers, they are also in the White West Division. The Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders are there. Orange Lions, Solon Comets, and the Western Reserve Blue Devils are all in the White East. I almost said West East. The White East Division. And again, you could say the same thing for these teams. Last year, we got an opportunity to see Orange in the finals there, and they played very, very well. Obviously, I don't believe they came away with the win there, but they did, play very good hockey. But again, as we get more into the season, we're going to kind of see the separation, right? We're going to see a lot of these teams, who are the cream's going to rise to the top, as the old adage goes. And I think you can really look at teams like Aurora, Kenston, Orange as kind of those maybe early season favorites, but we don't really know until they start playing hockey. And it's a great point that Rob brought up, is that last year is kind of a wash for these teams because, again, there was so much uncertainty with COVID that, there wasn't reliable stats. Maybe maybe a team didn't have everybody playing because they couldn't get a field team. You never really know going into this, but they have enough skaters to be in the White Division. And again, the White Division, like any other division in this hockey league, is tough. I mean, they move these teams for a reason. It's not because it's a punishment. They want to make sure they're having the most competitive and fair hockey that you can have. And you don't want to have a team that's, putting 15 goals on a team every night, because that doesn't do any good for the winning team or the losing team. And I think this is a good way that the GCHSHL does it, is really evaluate year to year. Hey, what are we looking at? What's going to make the most sense for each team, not for, what's going to give us the best opportunity to sack up wins. It's literally for competition, which is one of the refreshing things in high school sports right now, that we see that we're not having it now. The pivot off of that is the GCHSHL does that. Unfortunately, Ohio High School Athletic Association just dumps everybody in to the hopper and says, okay, let's go from there, which is why the Barron Cup, which is why these games are important to them, because this is their season. This is their playoffs. They care what everyone wants to win a state championship, but the odds are against you unless you're a major player in a red division or something like that. So winning the Barron Cup 2 is a big deal for these teams.
Yeah, and Sean, I think it was 2 years ago that Orange,
2 years ago.
yeah, won, because last year it was Chagrin Falls beating Canfield.
In white or
In-
blue?
Yeah, in the Barron Cup 2.
Oh, okay.
And in the white division, and then in 3, or actually it was 3. Yeah, in the blue, because they moved up now. So it was Chagrin Falls versus Canfield in the championship, and Chagrin Falls won in Barron Cup 3. But in 2, that's where it was Olmsted Falls versus Avon getting a win.
Oh, okay.
And Avon Lake
right.
played a tough, hard-fought game against Avon leading up to the championship game, and it actually was Parma that played Olmsted Falls, so leading to that. But Orange lost to WRA in the first round last year. Aurora, they did beat Kenston in the first round, but then lost to Avon Lake in the second round of the Barron Cup 2 championship last year. So we'll see what happens this year. Kent had a good year last year. They made it past North Olmsted in the first round last year. Solon made it to Avon and then lost in that second round. You never know when it comes to Barron Cup. There are certainly upsets that we have seen and we have covered, and that's one thing we're looking forward to is being at the Barron Cup Championships on that Sunday again and broadcasting all 3 championship games, because that's always a lot of fun. And we've had some great games, and every year it's competitive, that's for sure, with some of the changes they had. Like you said, you bring up some new teams this year. There's going to be 6 here in the White East, and then there's 5 in the White West. And, the East has 10 games and the West has 8 games. So 4 from each are going to make the Barron Cup this year. So not all teams this year will get into the Barron Cup unless something changes. But that's how it is this year, and should be a lot of fun as we wait for Coach Teets here, as from Westlake, as he will join us here shortly. As they made their mark last year in the blue division, to move on up and really add some competition here to the white division. So that'll be a lot of fun to see. But guys, we talked a little bit about the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, and our coverage is going to be exciting, I think, this year. Especially we're going to try, if there's capabilities at these rinks, to live stream the games. If not, then we'll obviously have the broadcast and we'll post it right after. But you can go to sportsontappodcast.com where you can see videos. We're going to have some video coverage there of the games. Our YouTube live here, subscribe to us, and you can get all the updates as soon as we post videos, or we have a live stream. You get it right to your emails, sportsontappodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send us your rosters, teams out there in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, we can use rosters and stats and information. Again, sportsontappodcast@gmail.com. That'd be really helpful to have your rosters and information for the year, because I know sometimes it is tough to find information, especially from last year, because it was such a crazy year with COVID, that a lot of these teams don't have all the information necessarily from last year. So this year, hopefully, we'll have more information for you. But we will, like I said, we have Strongsville head coach Troy Grahl coming up at the 8:25 mark, and then at 8:45, Aurora head coach Joe Lawrie will join us for the Greenmen coming up here on Sports on Tap. And with some of these schools, and I know Ryan Kelby, he's the president of the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. He sent me some really great information, and it shows you how involved the different teams do for their community. And the Cleveland Rockin' Wildcats, they're created in 2000 for players with developmental disabilities. The ASHA gives people of all ages and abilities a chance to learn and grow by playing the game of hockey. They had a fundraiser recently, and I mean, they raised a lot of money, whether it's uniforms or just having equipment for these players, and let them enjoy the game and really teach them and let them have fun on the ice. And and you could tell, go to their website, or actually they're on Facebook, Cleveland Rockin' Wildcats, at Cleveland Rockin' Wildcats. They're a nonprofit organization. You could find them on Facebook. And they also, I believe, have a website, and it's AmericanSpecialHockey.org, and you can find them there. Or you can email them, too, if you want to contribute, Cleveland Rockin' Wildcats at AOL.com. It's a great organization, that really gives back to the community. And like I said, these kids love it. So I think it's a really cool thing to be involved in. And a lot of these hockey teams do stuff like that for the community. They have fundraisers and stuff. So if you want to get involved with the sport of hockey, there's other ways to do it. A lot of these teams also fundraise for their uniforms and equipment. So if you want to get involved, you can contact us or the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League or some of these teams in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. So, guys, we wait as we'll see if I'll make sure that the coach has.
All right, that's cool. Well, listen. While you're checking to see if he can come on, we could just kind of recap last year, because Westlake was one of the teams that was able to get quite a few league games in. They actually played 7 league games, and they actually went 7-0 in the Blue South Division last year. That's exactly why, this year they're moving up. They were able to get a total of 16 games in. They actually finished 11-5 overall on the year, so they had a very productive year, and that was by far the most games. Let me see the schedule. The records of last year, according to Ohio Hockey Digest. A good job out of these guys for really keeping up and doing the best they can with all the local high school leagues that are in the state of Ohio. It's a great resource. So big props to Ohio Hockey Digest. Those guys are awesome. They also have a great podcast. So if you're done listening or watching to ours, make sure you head over there to give theirs a listen. They do a great job over there. But, Westlake, by far last year, played the most games in the Blue South. Right behind them was Elyria Catholic. They played 13 games overall. But just looking at the league games, Westlake went 7-0. Compare that to the top last year. Top 2 teams in the white were both Olmsted Falls and Avon. They played the most games last year. We talked about them, last week. They moved up to the red division, but Avon Lake was able to get in 12 games last year. They got, 6 league games in. Parma was able to play 5 league games. Same thing with Cleveland Heights and North Olmsted. But if you're looking at the White East, you have, teams Aurora, Kenston, Western Reserve Academy. They were only to get Western Reserve Academy was not able to do any league games last year. According to these standings, they only got 1 game in last year. Kenston was only able to play 1 league game. They had 5 games overall. Aurora played 2 league games, and they played 5 games overall. So, when you look at those 3 teams specifically, that are in the White East this year, who knows what's going to be like? For most of those kids, it's basically been, if you think about it, almost 2 years since they've played a full season of competitive hockey. Now, maybe some of those kids play club hockey and they were able to get some, during the summer or whatever, or during the offseason, able to play some, non-Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League games. But that is what I think is going to be most interesting, because, kind of piggybacking what Sean kind of compared to football. Football, they were able to get a lot of games in last year and get a full playoff slate in. Some teams played more than others, obviously, but for hockey, with there's obviously more games to be played. And then when you have such a disparity in the number of games that were played, I just wonder how it's going to be. That's going to be interesting for me as the season rolls on to see how these teams kind of react to playing a longer season that they didn't play last year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Josh. And I apologize. I assumed I thought I sent the link to everyone. Apparently, I missed one head coach. Coach Teets, I'm sorry about that. Thanks for joining us. And I swear I sent it. But
Coach, we'll dock his pay later.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. We're trying to run a semi-professional operation here.
It's quite all right. No, I was watching you guys live, and you guys keep talking about me, and I'm like, I'm trying. I swear.
Oh, man, that is completely my fault. Well, thanks for taking time to join us and talk a little Westlake Demons hockey here tonight.
And thanks for joining us and watching us before you came on.
Yeah.
Yes,
We appreciate that as well.
Appreciate the view.
Yeah, no problem. I was hoping to come on here, so.
Yeah, instead of talking through email, right?
Right.
But, Coach.
Well, Coach, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, well, Coach. I mean, we got a big year for your Westlake Demons here. You guys are up in the white division, up from the blue division. Talk a little bit about kind of the thought process there and the confidence level that your team has with what you're returning and what you guys are going into in the white West division.
We're looking forward to it. We have 11 returning seniors, so that's a big turnout as far as seniors go. I think we're going to have a good season. We moved up for the fact that I do have 24 on the roster this year, so I think it's going to go well for us. Looking at the competition we have, I think we're going to fall nice middle of the road. I'm expecting obviously a lot more than that, but I have a feeling that we can compete very well in this division. That's why we wanted to move up, because it's fun sometimes to win 10-0, but when you're winning every game in the blue South division 10-0, it's really not a competitive game for them, and for the kids, they just don't know how to lose at that point. You schedule games at higher divisions and higher levels, and they lose a game, and all of a sudden their life's over for no reason. And so I think it's going to be a good stepping stone to get up there and show competition and have them, maybe not win every single game, but show them that, hey, it's still a team sport, it's still a team game. You have to rely on your teammates rather than, hey, we're playing in the Blue South. You guys can go from end to end and score on another team. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys were 11-6, 7-0 in the Blue South Division last year. Am I right? You guys had one senior on your team last year, and I mean, I saw a lot of juniors.
Yeah, we had two seniors actually. We had one join later, but we ended up with two seniors, so we only graduated two with a lot of returning juniors. We had a couple leave the team for their own personal reasons, unfortunately. But I have, with what's coming up, I still have 11 seniors this year.
Well, talk a little bit about those 11 seniors, and you can even talk about, obviously, the underclassmen that are going to have an impact, but who are some of the players on your team, if people are watching, that they should look out for when we're watching Westlake Demons hockey this year?
So we have our two captains. That's Drew LeBenz and Chase Shear. And then our assistant captain, Alex Renziak, which is our goalie. They're big returners. They're going to be a good part of this team this year. They're definitely both scorers. We've had 3 preseason games so far, and I know Drew has scored at least 2 in all of them. So he's definitely going to be an integral part of this season. Chase is a fantastic center. He can get out there with any line that's out there, and he can be a part of the team. He's a very team-oriented player. And then with our returning goalie Alex, he's always been a part of this team. He's been here since the beginning. I know his mom's watching now, so I'll make sure I talk about him a lot. But no, he's a very integral part of this team. He's our only goalie that we have this year, so he's definitely an integral part. We stand behind him wholeheartedly, and he's come a long way since his freshman year.
Coach, talk a little bit more about Alex. If we talk to other coaches in the leagues, and they really stress the importance of having that person, in between the pipes back there that you could trust. So, just kind of expound a little bit more on that trust factor that you have with Alex, the fact that he's going to be there, and how him being there helps out your defense.
That's absolutely what I can say is he's an absolute integral part of what we have. Just like as everyone probably watching this knows, hockey's it's a game of errors. It's all a comedy of small errors. So someone is bound to make an error, and there's going to be a shot on net. It's going to happen. So him being between the pipes gives me a lot of. I know that I can trust him being back there, and he's going to stop that puck, no matter what he has to do. He's going to be there for me, and for the team, not just me, obviously. So having him back there is definitely it's a great feeling to have for whatever else I could say. And it's going to be difficult to lose him at the end of the season. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do from there.
Now you've had some exhibition games. What have you seen strength-wise for your team that you were really impressed with so far early on?
The camaraderie coming up so far has been good. I watched some of the Red Division stuff you guys did, and a lot of them are saying, yeah, we're pretty much back to normal, and we are the same way. And I'm glad to see that it hasn't been. It's not really one of those things where the team's only communicating through social media or text message or something like that. They're getting together, they're talking all the time, they're working out together, they're getting along at practices. So I think a really integral part that's going to be this year is that we do have such a great camaraderie at the beginning of the season. And then we can expand on that and build on that and build relationships to where they have known lines, they can work together, they can get together outside of things, and they can do their thing.
Now, making that move from the Blue South Division last year up into the White now, what do the players think, and are you excited to make that step up? I know, for most teams they're pretty excited, but it is a little bit, like you said, there'll be more competition there. Are the players as excited as you are to jump up to the White and face that competition?
Absolutely. They're very excited. They were, when I did tell them, they were absolutely ecstatic, because they're also looking for better competition. They don't like, the returning seniors definitely. They even said that they wanted some competition. They want to be able to play some better, higher quality teams this coming year, especially since we're not, at the stoppage points and, hey, do we know if we're going to play this week because of COVID? So they're definitely excited to be able to finish out their last possible year of, competitive, and I hope these kids do move on and do, play somewhere else and everything. But for the most part, as we all know, most of it ends right here as your senior year. So they're very excited to have one last good year of competitive hockey that they can play, and they're looking forward to it tremendously.
Coach, kind of looking at the program from a global standpoint here, kind of big picture stuff. You said you have, obviously that's great. You got 11 seniors. Do you still have that pipeline coming in behind them, younger underclassmen, or is it kind of a swell, like a wave, and then you kind of recruiting a little bit on the back end?
Well, unfortunately, such is what Northeast Ohio hockey is it's always in waves. It's never a steady pipeline. We try to do, we have summer league stuff. In the past, I was part of it. I was coaching it. We did spring league for peewees and bantams in the past, and unfortunately, with the numbers I've had in the last few years, we haven't had enough players to even be able to field a team to do anything. So it's one of those things where it's always a continuous wave of who knows what's coming, who's going, what's going on. I try to keep tabs on everything with, the youth programs, but the nice thing with what North Olmsted and Rocky River have is they have the rink in their home city, whereas Westlake, we don't have a rink. So we're playing out of North Olmsted, River, Winterhurst, and Lakewood, we're playing, those rinks are what we play out of. So we're trying to get kids that are in Westlake who play out of those programs to come back and not join the St. Ed's and the St. Ignatius of the world,
Right.
and have them stay. And we try our best, but such is Northeast Ohio.
Absolutely. And I know it's tough, but you guys continue to do big things. And, we appreciate you coming on tonight and being on our white division preview for the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. We wish you nothing but the best of luck this season. And I'm sure we'll see you at some point this season at one of the hockey rinks around here in Northeast Ohio. It's going to be a fun season. We're looking forward to it. So thanks for coming on, and sorry for not sending the link. Minor details, I guess, right?
Hey, I made it, though. That's right.
I know. Well, I appreciate you watching and sticking with us here. So thanks again for coming on, Coach Teets, and, nothing but the best of luck this season.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, have a great week.
Good luck.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, that's Brendan Teets, the head coach of the Westlake Demons hockey program. They are in the white division now. They come over from the Blue South. I want to thank him for joining us here tonight on the white division preview, guys. And so I won't keep him.
Hopefully going to have a more successful season than you had by you sending that link, Rob. Good job.
Well, hey, I know I sent another link here, and it's head coach of the Strongsville Mustangs, Troy Grahl. I want to apologize to have him wait a little bit, but oh man, I sent so many links out. I thought I had everybody, and our guest at first, terrible for Brendan to wait. I'm glad he sent us. I said any issues, let me know, and he did wait. And there's Coach Grahl. He's got a busy weekend ahead, but he took time to join us here tonight on our Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League White Division preview. I'm Rob Troutman. We have Sean Duffy, Josh Jeffy, and Coach Grahl joining us. Coach, thanks for taking time tonight to join us.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, glad to be here.
And, I know your daughter's wedding's coming up. You got a busy weekend ahead, and you still join us late night.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I really haven't slept for the last day and a half. So as soon as this interview is over, hopefully, if you see me nodding off, yell at me or something. But yeah, so
Wow.
big wedding Saturday, and then she wanted to say, "Hey, Dad, how about setting up a tailgate party the next morning?" And I'm like, "Of course, Father, for the bride. Of course, I will do that for you." So I don't know. The tailgate may not start till 5 o'clock after the Browns game. I'm not sure.
There you go. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Well, Coach,
right.
I mean, obviously, you guys had a great season last year. You guys are up in the white division this year.
Right.
From the blue, or down from the
Right.
from red division. Can you talk a little bit about? I know we've talked to teams that have moved up, but I'm interested to get the kind of the experience, maybe the thought process behind moving down. Is it more so from a competitive standpoint for you guys, or is it like strictly numbers? You have X amount of skaters, so you fit into this wall or this division.
Yeah, I think this is our 22nd year in the program. We were in the blue division when we came in 2000, when it was just blue and red. And then they, after the first year, I think they might have won the division or did really well, and that coach moved them up to the red. They struggled that second year, but then after that, we've been pretty, I guess, kind of pride ourselves that, we were one of the long-lasting red division teams, still up there. Most of the teams that are in that red division now were, down in the white division and made their way up as their numbers grew. But yeah, I have numbers. I got 21 guys. A lot of young guys, but I got very young. I got very can't say young goaltender. I'd have a junior goaltender, but goaltending with very little experience. And there's a number of teams out there that is sort of has been facing that every year, and we're there this year. So we'll see how it goes and all that. But we've struggled the last few years in that red division, and we sort of made a swap. Olmsted Falls and Avon Lake moved up to that red division this year since I think they played each other in the semifinal, in the finals last year. Avon Lake won. My bad. Avon won. So they moved up, rightly so, and we made a move down. And yeah, our goal is, to play competitive hockey, and we'd like to get back up, back in that red division. So, but we've been up there a long time and all that. So we'll see how this season goes.
Yeah, I know last year you guys had, I think, either injuries and some COVID issues as well. But you bring back some solid forwards for you this year. You mentioned obviously your goaltender, junior Nick Dasher. He started as a freshman, and you mentioned that he had lacrosse goalie skills. So, how is that? That's kind of an interesting way. So, did you scout him playing lacrosse and said, "Hey, why don't you give hockey a try," or has he always played hockey?
No, he just came to us. He wanted to play. He actually was playing. He was playing freshman football too, but he just fell in love with the sport, and he fell in love with the guys on the team. He wanted to come out. We said come out in the summertime. He literally couldn't stand up on goalie skates. So he's come a long way in 2 years. And actually, this weekend we played Anthony Wayne, which is a tough team coming out of the Toledo area, and we lost to them 2-1. So, and they're a pretty strong team. Now, you want to say, that's a pretty good team. We held our own, but I don't know. We'll see how the season goes. But he played phenomenal. I mean, just lights out. And really, after 2 years, how do I put it? He looks like a goalie. He's making goalie saves. He's butterflying out. He's doing that. I mean, pucks that went in from the red line and blue line last year and the year before is gone. Those days are gone. So, actually, I'll put a lot of credit on. We work with a gentleman, Jim Kestridge, who's been around in the area for a long time, and he's worked with a number of goalies. Jim Jackson has used him over at Normandy for years, along with a number of other places, a number of other teams. So I give him a lot of credit working with him, going to his camps over the summer. And he really takes time with those goaltenders. I'd recommend him for anybody out there looking for goaltending coaching or experience. I look up Kestridge Goaltending School. That's my plug for him. Maybe he gives me a discount the next time I ask him to come out.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Talk about some of the other players you have on your team. Some of the forwards and defensemen, and whether they're seniors or underclassmen. Who are some players that people coming to watch some hockey games can look out for with this Mustang squad?
Yeah, I got 3 senior forwards. All 3-year lettermen going into their senior year. Dan Moody is one of our captains, along with 2 assistant captains, Ryan Sutz and Nolan Markham. We've used them on a line in the past. So far this season, we've been breaking them up a little bit, moving them around a little bit with some of the younger guys. One could say you can keep the 3 seniors together, and then they move on, and the next group comes up. But it's also nice, I think, having that veteran leadership on, on that second line, and not just have the 3 guys there. So yeah, I got 3 really strong forwards as seniors, and then I have 2 very strong 3-year letterman seniors in Gavin Pate and Jack Grasha, who actually transferred over from a Holy Name his sophomore year. So yeah, 2, and then I have a 6th senior. He's a 4-year journeyman, and that he's kind of he's that 5th. He's on that 3rd line defense. And Roderick Miller. So there's my 6 seniors. Also have two um, pretty strong juniors, defenseman Jack Lean and a forward Ethan Warner that sort of rounds out my top two lines. And I'm missing one. I'm missing one forward in there, and that would be my sophomore forward Brett Capel, um, grandson of the late Mike Capel, who was in the Parmesan system and a longtime coach, and we lost him a few years back. And sometimes when I see Brett out there playing, like he had a hat trick his freshman, one of the first two games in, and his wife, Mike's wife's cat, Nancy. I said, I think Mike was looking down, man. Watching his grandson play, And then I have another sophomore, strong sophomore defenseman, Nick Rosen. And then I got 5-6 new incoming freshmen. So, again, we're not really rebuilding. We're just basically tuning those guys to be ready to play as sophomores. And they're all getting an opportunity to play. Those guys are being groomed to be able to replace the 6 guys I'm going to lose. And that's what you try to do every year. 5-6 guys come in to replace the 5-6 guys that are going out the door, and just sort of retool and go with that.
With that being said, Coach, you were able to get about 20 games in last year. With how the scheduling was and how some teams only got 3 or 4 games in. How important do you think those 20 games you got last year will play into this year with the cohesiveness of your group?
Yeah, I mean, we our schedule, because everything was just out of whack last year, right? So we played teams in the red, we played teams that were down in the blue, we played teams in the white to kind of get a feel where we were going to be. So we got a very good sample size, which was pretty much it really made. Look, it was a tough decision to make the move down, right? You always want to be there, but you also want to be competitive. Kids, want to, feel that they, want to be competitive and have a chance. So, excuse me, we got a chance to get a good sample size. And yes, you're right. We played basically a full schedule, 32 some games, in one game in the Barron Cup and a couple in the States. But, I think we played probably twice as many as almost all the public schools out there played. And there's I don't know how that works out, but the one thing that we kept quarantining, and we've got an athletic a training staff, Steve Pritchard, our head trainer, and Joe Kopaz, and every time we had a contact, those guys took the due diligence to watch every second of film, log every second. It's amazing what they had to do last year in terms of, like, if you skated by and that player that had the COVID was sitting on that bench and you recorded 3 seconds, and I think the qualifier was like a 15 minutes. Well, no 2 players are together that. I mean, 2 centers facing off the whole game. The gentleman they had the COVID symptoms. Our center who faced off, the total was just over a minute, right? But you gotta go through the protocols, and our athletic training staff did that to be able to keep us playing. So I give them a lot of credit. But yeah, we benefited for having a lot of games to be able to kind of put us in a position where we think we'll have some success.
Well, there's no doubt. Obviously, getting the in-game experience helps, and it looks like your team's getting ready. How much does the tournaments, early on tournaments, help you kind of see where your team's at before the season starts and see what changes? And I think, like you mentioned, it did help you last year. You played some teams in the blue and white division, so like you said, you can kind of see where you stack up a little bit. I'm sure that helps, but how early on these tournaments they probably help you prepare to see where you're at before the season even starts.
Yeah, that's a great question. Leads me right into what we try to do, at least at Strongsville, is so every year for the last 18, 19 years, we go down to Columbus for the Chiller. It used to be the St. Charles's Thanksgiving tournament. Now it's, the Chiller's taking that over. What's really nice about that tournament is they have multiple varsity divisions, and they also have usually a JV division that's usually played out of Easton. And so many teams this year, you just kept asking about, do you have more JVs? Can I get a JV team in and so forth? So they actually added an additional JV division group. And the reason I bring that up is, I got right now, I got 19 skaters and 2 goalies, 21 players. So we take 2 teams to Columbus, and we've done this number of years. And my magic number typically is I got to have, well, first of all, it's nice to have 2 goalies and also have 20 skaters. Now we're 1 short, so that's going to put a little damper. And the only thing is that on Sunday, when you play your net, your play downs, 4v4, 3v3, 2v2, 1v1, and you're in 2 different divisions and playing at 2 different ranks, you could both teams be playing at the same time at 8 o'clock in the morning. So now you got to take your 19 forwards and you kind of got to divide them up. But also we talk to our guys. Pretty much everybody is basically eligible, depending on their skill set and what they're doing in the games, that they are all prepared to play in any of those combination of 8 games. Obviously, my younger freshmen, the 4 or 5 kids that may not see varsity time, having the 2 goalies, the goalies that may not see the varsity time. Look, when it's all said and done, it's high school hockey, and kids. It's varsity sport, yes, right? You're playing your top 2, 3 lines. You're carrying 20 on the bench. This year they moved it up to 23. I think that's so coaches then they have to just have a decision on whether to have to sit a kid. But you're going to play 2 lines and try to roll 3. We're going to try to roll 3 this year. It would be the first time we've done it in a long time. But those 5 or 6 kids that don't see the ice, we go down there and take the 2 teams. And if someone wants to be able to move into that 3rd line or that 2nd line, well, here's an opportunity in those varsity B games to be able to go out there and, hey, show us what we got. Now we go down to Columbus. We'll have a varsity A, varsity B game on Friday and Saturday. We'll have 4 games, and this year there's not much time being spent at the hotel. It's going from one rink to the next rink to the next, back and forth. So it's a long day, but that's what we sign up for as coaches. And I'll probably catch maybe a half hour to 40 minutes of the Michigan-Ohio State game, but. That's not to say that maybe somebody on the bench may not have it on their phone either. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a noon game, but I'm sure you'll have it on lockdown. But Coach, we appreciate you coming on our show tonight and breaking down a little bit of Mustangs hockey, and I'm sure we will cover and get to see you at the rink at some point this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on your daughter's wedding this weekend and all the frivolity that follows it. And hopefully the Browns can do their job and get you a win.
Yes. Go Browns.
Off the weekend. Hopefully. We don't know.
I told my parents, I said, listen, my daughter's getting married. Here's an opportunity to have a nice free weekend before the crazy season starts. So. Yeah.
Well, hey, try to go.
It works out for everybody.
I was gonna say, go get some sleep now. I mean, I don't even know how you. I don't know how you remembered all that information without any sleep. That's impressive.
Yeah, I got cue cards right here. You just don't see them.
Oh, there's your trick.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it very much.
All right, that's Strongsville head coach Troy Grahl joining us here on Sports on Tap, the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League White Division Preview Show. I want to thank him for taking time to join us here tonight. And without further ado, we have head coach of the Aurora Greenmen hockey program, Joe Lawrie, joining us. And I did not forget to send him. Oh, actually, he isn't. I thought he was here. He must have. I did send him the link. I know that. I checked that already. But so he'll be coming on here shortly, guys, and talking a little bit about the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. We're going to be kind of getting into it a little bit. It's fun to see some of the teams that kind of make the move, up, down. That's the one thing we love about this league is the competition. And if you're not competing at one level, some of these teams say, let's go compete in another division, and it works out. And I think that's going to be exciting to see this year for really all the teams, whether you move up or down. And that's why, it's kind of enjoyable to see. So we'll see.
Shout out to Ryan Kelber, man, who keeps it all together for us. Does a wonderful job there, keeping the league together. So.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Ryan. There's another guy that I don't know if he sleeps sometimes with all the things he does. But
I know for Bear Cup week he doesn't. I know for a fact in Bear Cup week he does not sleep.
Yeah, we're former Brooklyn Hurricane guys, so shout out to Ryan.
I was gonna say there's a lot of you guys, the Brooklyn Hurricanes. They're everywhere.
Yeah, my best friend Mike Ross still coaches over at Brooklyn, so
yeah.
Well, he don't have a game on Saturday because he's coming to the wedding. At least that's what he said. So
we'll have fun.
He said he's going to bring the Brooklyn team, and you guys are going to bring the Strongsville team. You guys are going to have a little skate in the parking lot on rollerblades
down there at Tower City, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Outdoor rink.
Dude, I'd like to see that. That'd be pretty fun. I mean, just do kind of the, in the street thing. We used to do that on rollerblades. It wasn't pretty, but, made for a good time.
They got a nice skating rink down in Tower City.
Yeah, now they do.
Yeah.
Well, they had it last year.
I don't know if they would be, amenable to a full-on varsity hockey scrimmage just breaking out in the middle of the rink but hey, you never know.
That's right.
That's okay. Just have them sign waivers and put them on TikTok. It'll be viral.
That's fine. We'll do that. That's a great idea.
There you go. All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
And
thanks.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
All right, we'll do. See you guys soon.
All right. That's Troy Grahl, the head coach of the Strongsville Mustangs, joining us and talk a little high school hockey in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. So we'll see here in a little bit if we get Coach Lawrie. I know I saw him there, but he is not there right now. So we'll see what happens if he joins us again, and I'll kind of see. I know he was waiting in the waiting room, and then now he's not there. So we'll have to wait and see.
I like talking to Coach Troy, man. That dude, he is a trip, man. He's been in the game for a long time, and whenever we have the opportunity to talk to him, he's nothing short but entertaining. I like talking to him. The guy knows his hockey. The guy's got I was really interested to hear his feeling towards going down. And Sean, a good question bringing that up. We talked to teams that have moved up, but I think you got to kind of take it on the chin a little bit and kind of put your ego aside and know, hey, we're going to go down. But in the overall scheme of things, it's going to be good for the players to be on the same competition level as the other teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and I think the big thing to kind of look at is what the same, kind of the flip side of what Coach Teets talked about. They were beating every team they played 10-0, and that's not fun for either team. It's fun to get a win like that if you're that team, but are you really, like you said, you're not facing adversity. And the kids are, on the flip side of that, are demoralized because they can't even, some of these players are just learning how to skate at some point, so moving up makes more sense for them. But also on the flip, like we talked to Coach Grahl, he's got to look at he's got a young team. He's got a goalie that's gaining experience. You know, why subject them to basically getting, you know, I'm not saying they're going to get
hammered.
Yeah, they're not going to get railroaded out of the red division, but the level of talent in the red division is the top level talent. And right now, Strongsville has an experience. So you want your team to be able to say, look, we're playing against teams that are on our level, so to speak, that may have, and we can be competitive in there. And there's not a lot of, you know, in my opinion, when we watched those games last year, the white division, red division games, even the blue division games. I mean, the blue division all the championship games were great, right? But, you know, Avon and Olmsted Falls in the white division championship and those games, there really wasn't a lot of difference between all four of those teams that played between red and white. I mean, really not. That's why I asked specifically, is that more of a numbers, or is that an actual review of your team and saying, hey, here's where we're at? And he laid it out perfectly. He said last year was a great litmus test for them. They got to play red division teams. They got to play blue division teams. They got to play white division teams. And that gave him data to look at and say, hey, we fit better in the white division. It's not great to go down. You don't want to go down. You don't want to admit that you can't play up there, because everyone wants to play in the top level. But at the end of the day, if you can be competitive in the white division, and there's no real there's no real certain delineation really between the two teams, why not go in the white division and gain some experience and have some adversity? And the same thing with Coach Teets. You know, hey, we're killing everyone in the blue division. Why? Let's go up and challenge ourselves. You know, maybe that's what brings more eyeballs to that program that he talked about. How he's, you know, they have to play out of certain arenas, certain rinks, and that's going to give them the opportunity for the other kids who may be on the fence. Hey, do I want to play hockey? Westlake's right there, and they're playing against Avon Lake. They're playing against Lakewood. They're playing against North Olmsted. You know, maybe I want to go play Westlake. I'm in the school district. Why not go give it a shot?
Good point, Sean.
Thanks.
No, I mean, like I said, a lot of these, you broke it down well, and I messaged Coach. I know he was in here at one point, but you know, just asked him if he still wanted to. I know we're running a little bit late here now on the show, but we'll give him a few more minutes, and if not, we'll try to have him on at another point in the season to have him come on and talk a little bit about the Aurora hockey program. But you know, we're looking forward to it here at Sports on Tap. We're the media partner with the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. And, you know, this season we'll be trying to live stream, you know, some games this season and keep you up to date on the games and the standings. And you can go to our website. You know, if we're not doing a show, we will have, you know, we'll try to have some information on the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League on our website, and also the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. You know, they're looking to improve their website, and I know Ryan Kelmer does a great job with that. Go to sportsontappodcast.com as our website. We're at SOT Podcast on Twitter. We're looking, you know, to really improve, you know, our coverage. We've done a lot in the last year here, and we're excited to cover the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, and actually coming up this Sunday night at 8 p.m. we will be covering the Blue Division. I know we have head coach of the Cleveland Heights Tigers, Eddie Babcox, already confirmed joining us at 8:05, and all he had to say was "Let's go!" And I mean,
let's go.
He must have put 20 exclamation points after that, so you know he's ready for the season.
He's coming on with us.
What's that?
He's really excited to come on and talk hockey with us.
Well, I mean,
who wouldn't be, Sean?
That's
who wouldn't be, Sean? Come on now.
Come
on.
Well,
you guys, yes. Me, it's like talking to a toddler at a certain point.
Oh, jeez.
Because when he was talking about when Coach Grahl was talking about shots from the blue line and the red line, I had to look at my handy dandy little idiot's guide to hockey and realize that those color of those lines mean something. And that's something that I'm learning. So I think not only folks.
I think everybody has learned quite a bit about hockey. We've been covering this league for a while now, and all of us since we started have learned quite a bit, and including Ed. Ed's not here tonight, but he's done a great job, you know, doing play-by-play. You guys doing the color commentary, and we'll look to have that as it'll be like a full broadcast, like we did Barron Cup Championship, the championship games,
which was wildly popular with folks,
Oh,
not
man.
just local. We had an international flavor, and I'm not talking Canada folks. I believe somebody from the European Union dropped into our coverage. I don't know if they understood a word we were saying, but who knows? But yeah, it was awesome, and that's why we decided, hey, we got to do this again. Now the question remains: do we get Blazers with Sports on Tap on them, a la
Ooh.
CBS Sports? You know
That'd
what I'm
be
saying?
pretty interesting.
And I've been wondering, do I do my slide in like Collinsworth on Sunday nights? Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Or do we just pick our own thing?
I'll leave
I
that
would-
for you guys to figure out.
Nah, yeah. No offense, Sean, but I don't think big fellas should be sliding in anywhere.
Well, I mean, granted, you're right. I'm also
Oh,
talking about a
man.
sport which I have no business talking about because, he's talking about, he can't set up on goalie skates. I can barely stand on the ice with my shoes. So let's pump the brakes on that. I guess you're right.
That's okay.
Dash my
Listen,
dream.
we're all fans of the game here. Looking forward to like you guys said, looking forward to covering these games and really getting out there. This league deserves the coverage, and I know the coaches and players do appreciate this. And I'm looking forward to the Blue Division preview on Sunday because by far this is the division with the largest number of teams. Competition. Some teams don't have a lot of players. Some teams don't even have a lot of skaters in this division. But it's still nonetheless going to be very fun and entertaining, especially Coach Babcock's on. He's always great to talk to. We always have him on during the All-Star draft, which is another thing I'm looking forward to getting back to this year. Hopefully at Buffalo Wild Wings there in Fairview. So that'll be fun as well.
And then the All-Star game
I'm
is
still
at
forward to
Rocket
the
Mortgage
Buffalo Wild
Fieldhouse. We always have fun going to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and having that game, broadcasted. So we'll be able to do that. But yeah, he has a little bit of experience covering hockey and coaching hockey. So we'll look forward to having him. But again, in the white division, we didn't have, we'll go through more teams obviously as the season goes on. But please, if you're a team or a coach watching this, in any of these divisions, go to sportsontappodcast@gmail.com and send us your rosters and also statistics and any information you can give us, and we'd be glad to, obviously promote all these programs in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League and talk about them here on the air and throughout the season. Again, in the White West, there's 5 teams: Lakewood, Avon Lake, Strongsville, North Olmsted, and Westlake. Then you have 6 teams in the White East. It's Aurora, Orange, Kent, Solon, WRA, and Kenston. So we're looking forward to knowing more about those teams and seeing what they can do this season in the white division. So, guys, great job here tonight. Want to thank, again, the coaches, Coach Troy Grahl of the Strongsville Mustangs for joining us, and also Brendan Teets of the Westlake Demons hockey program for joining us as well. And everybody watching this on our YouTube Lives, hit the subscribe button. You can leave comments as well. But subscribe and you'll get emails of all the video highlights we have from the season and our live streams and live broadcasts as we'll be doing those this season. So it'll be a fun season, and we hope you've come along and come aboard with us. So, guys, great job tonight, and we'll talk to you on Sunday at 8 p.m.
Sir.
We'll be talking Blue Division in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League.
Division.
That's right.
Sir.
So for Josh Jeffy, Sean Duffy, I'm Rob Troutman. I want to thank you for joining us here on Sports on Tap and watching at home on YouTube Live. We'll see you on Sunday night at 8 p.m. for another Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League Blue Division preview show. All right, have a great rest of your week, everyone. We'll see you later.